Jesus said 2 men went up to the temple to pray. One was a Pharisee and the other a tax collector. We'll get later on to talking about what that means. The Pharisee stood and prayed thus with himself. Notice maybe he felt he was holier than others, so he didn't want to be around some regular folks. He felt he had to be by himself. And he prays, and here is his prayer as told by Jesus. God, I thank you that I'm not like other men. So he starts with thanksgiving. I'm not an extortioner. I'm not unjust. I'm not an adulterer. And I'm not like this tax collector. So note here, he is accessing God by explaining to God who he is not. He must have thought this would get some favor with God if he explained to God, I'm not an adulterer, I'm not an extortioner, I'm not unjust, and I'm not like this other person here who's also in the temple at this time praying. And then he says in his prayer, God, I fast twice a week. I give tithes of all I possess. And so the second thing, after he explains what he is not, he explains what he does. He said, I fast twice a week. I give 10% of all that I possess. So he's enumerating his credits, his merits, if you wish. This is on the plus side. And so he is coming there, obviously needing help, trying to justify himself, trying to make himself feel good, relieving himself of guilt and shame. So that's the first part of Jesus' sermon. Then Jesus says, and the tax collector, and we'll explain in a moment what kind of people they were, standing afar off, so he wasn't as close to the front of the temple, would not so much as raise his eyes to heaven, but beat his breast, saying, God, be merciful to me, a sinner. And here comes the conclusion. I tell you, this man, the one who didn't seem so righteous, the tax collector, the sinner, he went down to his home justified rather than the other one. So this is not the expected conclusion of the